A very good morning, all of you. My name is Sabir Khan, and we'll talk about the elongation of bar and strength of metal. So, in my last lecture, we talk about the stress as well as strain, and also about the Hooke's law. So, the Hooke's law said that stress is directly proportional to strain, or sigma is equal to modulus of elasticity multiplied by strain. Now, strain is equal to sigma by E, or stress by modulus of elasticity. Now, I can change stress in terms of force and area. So, stress become P by A, and E is modulus of elasticity. Then strain, what is strain? Strain is the change in length to the original length. So, if I put delta L over L, then the change in length become delta L over L, L in this side, then it become PL by AE. So if I applied a load P on a bar of length L, cross section A, and the Young modulus of elasticity of that material is E, then the change in length is equal to PL by AE. It is very important formula for us. Now, we'll take an example on this. Let me tell you. If I applied any force P on any bar, then the change in length is PL by AE. Now, but I have a bar uniform cross section 20 diameter is subjected to a load. Find the total elongation of the bar. The maximum stress in the bar is modulus of elasticity is 200 gigapascal. All length are given in mm. So we have a bar uh, whose- where the load is 50 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton, 20 kilonewton, and 60 kilonewton. So the total length of the bar is 2200 mm. But I can only find out the elongation when the total load on both sides of the beam or bar is equal. So I change the forces. As in B section, in B line, we have 10 kilonewton force. So I applied 30 kilonewton force in this direction and 30 kilonewton force in opposite direction. So it will become balanced. So if I applied 30 kilonewton, sorry, 40 kilonewton load, 40 kilonewton load in this side, then it become 50 kilonewton, and 40 kilonewton load in this side. So 50 kilonewton, 50 kilonewton, then 40 kilonewton load this side. Total load on B surface is only 10 kilonewton, as shown in figure. Now in BC bar, we have once again, if this one is 40 kilonewton, so I have to change this 20 kilonewton in 40 kilonewton in positive x direction. So I applied 40 kilonewton load in positive x direction as well as 40 kilonewton load in negative x direction. So this 40 kilonewton load and this 40 kilonewton. If these loads are not equal, then we can't find out the elongation of the bar. So for that, we have to change the load accordingly. Now, this is 40, and when I apply 40 kilonewton in this direction, so it becomes 60. So in CD bar, I have 60 kilonewton load in negative x direction and 60 kilonewton load in positive x direction. So now I have three small bars. I change my equation in three small bars, and I will calculate the change in length of each bar, and then add the changes to find out the total change in AD bar. Okay, so if I'm talking about delta L1, that means in AB section. So delta L1 is PL over AE, where P is 50 kilonewton and L is 400 mm. Now I change the unit kilonewton in Newton, so that is 50,000 Newton, 400 PL over AE. Cross section. Cross section is given here. The diameter of the bar is 20 mm. So pi by 4 d square. You can find out the area of the AB bar, cross section area of the. And E is given in the question. So we can calculate PL over AE, where A is pi by 20 square by 4. So delta L1, that is 0.318 mm. Delta L2, once again, the load on the B surface on the BC bar is 40 kilonewton, length is 1000, 40 kilonewton, that means 40,000 Newton, 1000, and A is same and E is same. So we can calculate delta L2, change in length in BC. So this is 0.637. Now next, for CD, delta L3, that is 60 kilonewton, 800 pi, that is area, and that is our E, values of E. The values of E is given in gigapascal. You have to change it in Newton mm. Okay, so 200 gigapascal become 200,000 Newton per mm. So we'll calculate the total change, and the total change is the change in L1 plus change in L2 plus change in L3, and that become 1.719 mm. So total change is 1.719 millimeter. Okay, but I will tell you something. If they see in the figure, there there is only tensile force occur on the uh, bars, no compressive forces there. So that we will take all the elongation, find out the total elongation of the bar. But if there is any compressive force, then we have to subtract that amount of elongation, because due to compression of the load, the member compressed. So the elongation is negative. You have to remember that thing, that if there is compression, then you have to subtract that elongation. I hope you'll get it. Let's have another example. In our first example, we have a same diameter of the bar and the different loads. Load on the different bars are different. But in the second example, we have a different diameter of the bars connected together. Like AB, the diameter is 120 mm. For BC, the diameter is 80 mm, and for CD, the diameter is 105. Okay, when the diameter is different and the load is same, when the load is like there is 500, then I applied 500. You have to balance the load, simplify. So that 500, then I have to apply 500 on this surface and 500 on this surface. The total force is 0. When I'm talking about the C surface, then I applied load 500 in positive x as well as negative x. So total load on C surface is 0. So now I simplify the problem into three parts. Now what we have to do, we have to find out the total elongation of the bars. Now total elongation of this bar is, once again, delta L is equals to PL over A. The all loads are in tensile, tensile in nature. So you have to remember this word. Nature of the load is very important. If there is any load whose nature is compressive, then you have to subtract that elongation, because the compressive load will compress the member, not elongate the member. So, if there is any compressive force, the nature of load is compressive, then you have to subtract that amount of elongation. So, once again, the diameter of the bar is important, and delta L, that is P1 L1 over A1 E1 plus P2 L2 over A2 EP plus P3 L3 over A3 L3. So total compression is P by E L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2 plus L3 by A3, because force is equal. E, modulus of elasticity of the material, is same. So we have different length as well as different area. So if I have to calculate the delta L, if you want to calculate the delta L in separate way, like delta L1, delta L2, delta L3, then you can. But if you can calculate directly in one formula, that is better for you. So delta L is 500, once again, kilonewton. You have to change in Newton, so that become 500,000. The G, the values of modulus of elasticity, modulus of elasticity in E, that is 200,000 Newton per mm square. Okay, the gigapascal, that is given in gigapascal, and we have to convert it into megapascal. So if I am talking about the, then the 1000 megapascal, sorry, 1000 megapascal is equal to 1 gigapascal. That is equal to, that is equal to 1000 Newton, sorry, Newton per mm square. So you have to remember that. Okay. 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 So you have to remember that 1 megapascal is equals to 1 Newton per mm square. Giga is 10 to the power 9 pascal. Mega is 10 to the power 6 pascal. So be clear. One more thing I tell you in my last lecture that 1 megapascal is equal to 1 Newton per mm square. In similar way, 1 pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square. Remember that. 1 pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter square and 1 megapascal is equal to 1 Newton per mm square. So it should be clear because in each and every exam you have to face these kind of problems. You have to convert the unit of the force, stress, as well as modulus of elasticity. So you have to remember this. Okay, now delta L is equal to P by L, P by E, P by E, bracket. The L1 is 400, pi by 4, 120 square, 120 is the diameter, plus 3 L2, length, second length is 800, then pi by 4, 80 square, plus 600 pi by 4 into 100 square, that is diameter. So that is equal to 4 by pi into 5 by 2, 4 by 144 plus 8 by 64 plus 6 by 100. So to simplify this calculation. So now the total amount of this is 0.677 mm. Delta L is equal to 0.677 mm. The maximum stress be in the section of BC, which has the least area. Okay, so stress depend on the force and area. In this problem, we have the same force in each section. For AB, for BC, for CD, we have same force 500 kilonewton. But the area of the sections are different. So the the area of first section is sorry diameter of first section is 120, diameter of second section is 80, and diameter of third section is 100. So out of these three, we, we have to find out the least diameter or least area because it is indirectly proportional. It is indirectly proportional to stress. So if the area is least, then the stress is maximum. So to find out the maximum stress, you have to put uh, least area, and that is E by A, 500,000 by pi by 4 into 80 square. That is equal to 99.5 Newton per mm square. So, and last thing you have to take care of the units as well. So, if you calculate the values of this, then you have to write down the units of the particular unknowns. Like for stress, that is Newton per mm square. For delta L, that is mm. Now, one more thing I want to tell you that when we calculate the elongation, then use unit in Newton and mm because the elongation of bars of anything which is in less amount. So if I take the in terms of meters, I change all the units in terms of Pascal, Newton, meter square. Then the values are 0.0000 point zero zero six, sorry, 0.0006. Okay, so for accuracy purpose, we have to calculate in terms of mm, not in terms of meter. So convert all the units in Newton and meter, sorry, Newton and mm, not in meter. I hope you get my point. You got my point, and uh, thank you very much for listening.